IvyJoy here, reporting for Kids First. And today, I have the pleasure of speaking with executive producer, director, and writer Shea Fontana about Season 2 of the series Monster High, which you can find on DVD and digital platforms. Miss Fontana is also known for producing Polly Pocket, Action Pack, DC Superhero Girls, and more.
Thank you so much for having me.
As the creator, director, and writer for this series, what first attracted you to become part of the Monster High franchise?
So I got involved with Monster High because I had been working with Mattel on some other properties previously. So we worked on DC Superhero Girls as well as Polly Pocket together. And there was this opportunity to reboot Monster High. And I had been a fan of the 2010 original version, even though I was obviously a bit too old to, be a kid fan. I was still a fan. And really loved just this core message that was integral to Monster High from the beginning about inclusion and diversity. So when I had the chance to pitch to them what I would do with Monster High, I jumped at that chance because I love the brand.
What makes Season 2 stand out?
With Season 2, we really had a chance to explore beyond Monster High in a few ways. So we have this incredible 4-part series that takes place at Scare-adise Resort, which is in the Bermuda Triangle. It's a very kind of spooky hotel. I love that we're exploring these kind of spookier locations and getting out from the Monster High classroom for a bit. And we also have a really fun special that takes place at Monster Fest, which is kind of our monster version of Halloween. And there's this big concert that happens. So I love that we're able to go beyond some of our classic classroom stories and explore a little bit more of the Monster High world.
What was your favorite episode from the series?
My favorite episodes is certainly the Monster Fest special, which is absolutely cheating because it's actually 4 episodes instead of just 1. But with these episodes, there's so much that we were able to explore that really encapsulates like the entire Monster High experience. We have this really fun pop song that Frankie sings. We have this relationship that's growing between Frankie and Cleo. We explore Heath's relationship with his dad, Hades, which has always been a little troubled through our series. And they're actually able to break through a little bit and have some interesting things happen in their relationship. So there's a lot going on in this episode. We have incredible guest stars in this episode, and it's just really my favorite of this season.
What monster do you most relate to?
The monster that I relate the most to is always Draculaura because I think she would actually be a great animation showrunner because she likes to be in control and she likes to kind of have her fingers in everything and know everything that's going on at Monster High. So she has, some issues with perfectionism, which I can certainly relate to. A little bit of anxiety that creeps in there every once in a while, which maybe all of us can relate to. So I think, Draculaura, there's so much of me in that character.
What was it like working with the other writers for this series?
As a writer myself, I always love being in the writer's room is my favorite part of the entire series production. So all of the writers were coming in for these writers' room that we had where we broke the stories together and then they were able to go off and write the scripts on their own. But it's really fun to see how each of our writers comes through in some of the different characters and how they bring their own authentic experiences, their lived experiences to the stories that they're telling. I think that's really important that behind the scenes, our writers' rooms and our casting and every step of the way actually reflects the authentic identities of our characters.
How did you decide which monsters to romantically match?
Ooh, for the romances, there were some of the original romances from G1 that was very important to our brand partners that we kept. So, like Draculaura and Claude was something really important to the brand that they wanted to make sure stayed intact for G3. And then beyond that, we're looking at the new personalities of our characters and really trying to figure out who goes together, who complements each other, how do those romances work, and how are we going to find the common ground and maybe some conflicts within these romances. So it was a really fun process of looking at the characters and how we wanted to define the characters And also, it was always important to us to make sure that, for the most part, we're showing fairly healthy relationships with our characters. We want to model relationships that, show each of our characters being able to be themselves by they are in a relationship.
All right, last question. What do you hope audiences will take away from watching this series?
With all of our Monster High episodes, I think the most important thing with the series is the idea of inclusion and really having this group of friends who is constantly embracing each other, constantly showing how to be true friends, no matter what kind of diversity you're bringing to the table, what your identity is. It's about supporting each other and having these friendships.
Thank you, Miss Fontana, for speaking with me today. Be sure to look for Monster High Season 2 on DVD and digital platforms. I'm IvyJoy, reporting for Kids First. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel to stay informed about the latest entertainment for kids and family. Thank you. Bye.